Hi there, sixth grade. Miss Garcia here with a little bit of review and instruction on coordinate grids, or in our case, we often call them coordinate planes. Same difference. I'm gonna mark here coordinate plane. Same, same thing. Okay. So we've got a few different tasks to deal with a coordinate plane here, and I just wanted to review them for you. Let me zoom in here a little bit or a lot. So we can see here that we have a coordinate grid, a coordinate plane here to the right, and we've got some instructions here that tell us give the coordinates for the following points. So remember we talked about coordinates. Okay, coordinates are the directions that tell us where to go, and they're written as what we call an ordered pair in x, comma, y. X always comes before y, just like in the alphabet. So when we are looking, we want to go x first and then find our y coordinate. So our first point that we're going to look at here is the point C. So if I look over here on my graph, I've got the coordinate C right here. And I first want to look at my graph and I want to see how, I don't see many numbers here. So how are we counting on this graph? Well, each number on our number lines on our y-axis and our x-axis go up to 10. However, I don't see 10 lines, so they must have skip counted by another number. So with each grid here, I've got a different number, and I see I count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the end. 5 lines going up to 10 must mean they're skip counting by 2s. So I know I'm going to have a positive 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10 is the last one. So I know that in between, in the middle of each of those is a 1. So in the middle here would be 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So we're going to take a look at where these coordinates are for the point C. So we have going the opposite direction in our negative direction for our x-axis. We have -2, -4, -6, and -8. The same, again, pattern for our y-axis, our vertical line that goes up and down. We have a +2, +4, +6, +8, and then +10 at the top. And going down is -2, -4, -6, and -8, and then -10 at the bottom. All right, so now that we have our x-axis and our y-axis properly labeled with the correct numbers, we can go ahead and find the coordinates for each point. So again, number 1 was for coordinate C. So C is located right here. So remember, X is always first. So we're always going to name the number on the X-axis first before we label the Y-axis number. So I see that I have to go, we always start here in the middle at the origin. Remember the beginning. So we start in the middle and we go over to +2 and then up +2, and that's where we find our point C. So our coordinates for C, remember in parentheses, are x going over to 2, our x is +2, and our y is +2. So our coordinates are 2, 2. Okay. If we look at number 2, we're looking at point H. So if we look at our graph, finding H on our graph here, we have H here down in quadrant 3. Okay, and again, sorry about my zooming in and out here. We are going to look at where are the coordinates, what are the directions to get to point H. X is always first, so we're going to go on our X, our horizontal line first, and we're going to go over. So getting to H, I'm going to go jump -2, -4, -6, -8. H is right in the middle. So it's not on the -8 line and it's not on the -10 line. It's right in the middle. So what comes between -8 and -10 is -9. So I know I have to move over to -9 as my X coordinate. Okay. Then I'm going down. I know going down also means negative. So my y-coordinate is also going to be negative. And I'm going to jump down from here, -2, -4. Oh, and then we're again right in the middle. So we're not at -4, we're not at -6, we're right in the middle, which is -5. So H is at the location of -9, -5. Okay, let's just do a couple more here and then we'll move on to the next section. So for problem number 3, we are looking at point B as in boy. So I'm going to look at my graph here and I'm going to look at where can I find point B. Here I have it right up here in quadrant 2. And again, I'm going to start with my x-axis first. So I'm going to move. I see that B is to the left, so I'm going to go to -2, and that's where B lines up. So I know my x-axis, my x-coordinate, is -2. Then to find the y, how high up or down do I go? I'm going to go up 2, 4, and 6. And that is where I hit the point B. And that's a +6. So my y-coordinate will be +6. Okay, one more here. Number 4, we have E. E is down here over in quadrant 4. So we're going to start with our x-axis first. I see I'm going to the right, so I know that my number is going to be positive. Starting at the origin in the middle, I'm going to line up with E. So I'm going to jump 2, 4, 6, 8. That's right in line where E is going to be. So my x-coordinate is 8. Now I need to go down to get there on my y-axis. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, but that's actually counting -2, -4. So it lines right up with -4 on my y-axis. Okay, so I end up with +8 and -4 as my coordinates. Right, we're going to skip on down here to some of these problems, which ask, tell which quadrant each of the following points is located in. And we spoke about this during our lesson today. The quadrants are not written as our normal numbers, like we're used to just writing a 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're using what we call Roman numerals, so they're written a little differently. But we are looking at the quadrant. Okay, and if you remember from our lesson today, our quadrants are in a kind of a unique order. So quadrant 1 starts up here in the right-hand corner. So I'm going to put a Q1, okay? And then we go in the shape of the letter C, right? So we're going to have quadrant 1 here. Then we follow the letter C, and this will be quadrant 2. Then down to quadrant 3, and over to quadrant 4. Again, using those Roman numerals to figure out where those are located. So we're going to look at these quadrants here, these coordinates, +15, -12, and we're going to see where would that end up, okay? So if we're looking at a +15, remember we have x and then y. We use our x-axis, then our y-axis. So if we move +15 on our x and then move down -12 on our y, we have down here, our number would be somewhere down here, okay? So what quadrant would that be in? That would be in quadrant 4, right here with the rest of these points here. So in our answer, we would write the word quadrant, and then the Roman numeral for 4 looks like a 1 and then the letter V, quadrant 4, okay? If we had another one like number 10, first we have our x is -9 and our y is +17, okay? Moving on our x, negative, we go to the left, -9. And then if we wanted to go positive y, which is +17, we would go up and it would end up somewhere up here, right? Somewhere up in this corner here. So you can see that the quadrant that this point would be in would be quadrant 2. So we would write quadrant, and then the Roman numeral 2, which just looks like 2 capital I's or 2 1s. Okay? And so we use that strategy when you're trying to figure out where it belongs in on the coordinate plane. Plot it, and then figure out which quadrant it is in. Okay? Now the last part I'm going to go over here is our plotting and labeling. Okay, plotting and labeling these parts. So again, we have a nice blank graph. It looks just like the one up top where it goes to 10 on every side. That's not always the case. Sometimes you count by ones. In fact, most of the time you count by ones. But in this case, to save space, they counted by twos. So again, we have our origin in the center. That's where 0 is. And then we count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's our positive side. And then -2, -4, -6, and -8. That's our negative side. Then we look at our y-axis. That's the one that goes up and down. Okay, our vertical. And that is, again, at 0. Then we count by twos, going up +2, +4, +6, +8. And then going down, -2, -4, -6, and -8. Okay, so we've got those labeled. And then we can move forward with plotting some of these points. So again, always x comes first, x and then y. So we're going to move to 8 on the x-axis and then move to -4 on the y-axis. That is where we will plot the letter I. So x first, so x goes left to right. So I'm going to go over to +8. I don't put the dot yet. +8. Then I'm going to go y-axis. It's a -4, so I know I'm going to go down. So I'm going to go down to 4. So +8, -4. I'm going to put my dot right here. And I'm also going to label it I. It has a name. That's the problem. Number 18 is I. So I want to label it so that I don't just plot a bunch of points and then I don't know which one is which. Okay. We look at 19, we have -2, -4. Again, x and y. Our -2, start at the origin in the center. -2 for x is to the left, -2. And then -4 for the y, we're going to go down to 4. And I end up right here. And that is the letter J. So I'm going to label that point J. Then I have the letter K. We're going to plot the letter K, and that is going to go at -8, +10. On the x-axis first, -8. Going to go to the left, -2, 4, 6, 8. Don't put your dot yet, because you still have to move to +10. +2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 ends up at the very top of our coordinate plane here. And that would be labeled K. All right. And we'll do one more here. We've got number 21. We're going to plot L, and that's at 6, 6. So x and y, remember, x is always first. So you're always going to go either left or right first, depending on the first number. So 6, +6. 1, 2, 3, so that's 2, 4, 6, and then up to +6, 2, 4, 6. And then we're going to plot our point right there, and that will be point L. So the more that you do these, you'll start to recognize what quadrant each one is in based off of the integers that they give you. Is it a positive or negative integer? And then you'll be able to figure out what area, what section that it goes into for each quadrant. Alrighty, that's just a quick review there. Check out the other videos I have linked on our Bitmoji Classroom if you need another review there. And as always, contact me if you have any questions. All right, have a good day, guys.